Let's talk about red flag laws being found unconstitutional and the media's response. What's up, Wolverines, and welcome back to my channel. My name is John Crump. I'm an investigative journalist, and I'm also nominated for a Gundy. So if you would, head over to thegundies.com and vote for me for top voices of the 2A. I would really appreciate your vote. And while you're at it, you can like, comment, and subscribe for more 2A news. I want to report on something that led me down a rabbit hole into something else. And I'm going to talk about both. But first, let's talk about what got me to the rabbit hole. A New York Supreme Court judge ruled that New York's red flag laws, also known as ERPO, or an extreme risk protection order, is unconstitutional. And this is something that's been argued around the nation because it takes away due process and strips you of a right before you have a chance to defend yourself. And the judge stated that that's a violation of the Constitution, and I tend to agree. And I'm willing to bet a lot of you out there tend to agree too. But if you look how places are reporting on this, they are doing something that is kind of sketchy. They are linking red flag laws with something else. For example, in this one article from ABC 13, which I'm not going to read the article because it's full of dribble, I'm going to break it down. The first thing they do is state that a New York Supreme Court justice ruled that the law was unconstitutional, which is good. But they call it New York's strongest gun law, which is kind of, wonder why they would do that. Then we go into 5 paragraphs about the Buffalo shooting. Now, keep in mind, the red flag laws did nothing to stop the Buffalo supermarket shooting at all, but they are trying to push it as a red flag law would have prevented this shooting, where they don't really tell you that the red flag law was in effect before the shooting. And then they have a quote from the lawyer who argued and got the law ruled unconstitutional. And that's it. That's the whole article. So the majority of the article is about a mass shooting, and only a small section of it actually has to do with the law being found unconstitutional. And that is to lead you down a path of thinking that this law would have prevented the Buffalo shooting, even though that the law was in effect during the Buffalo shooting. The article fails to tell the public what a red flag law is, and honestly, the person writing the article probably has no idea what a red flag law is to begin with. But it doesn't talk about how there's no due process and how a secret court finds that you can be stripped of your God-given sacred right to bear arms without even having a chance to defend yourself upon the word of someone that might have an issue with you, maybe a former lover, maybe a former roommate, but that person can go and make a little statement and get your rights stripped, and you have no legal recourse at all to prevent your guns from being confiscated. It doesn't talk about how there was a Maryland man that was killed when police came to strip him of his guns, and that turned out to be due to a family dispute, and the guy wasn't actually a danger to anyone. It also doesn't talk about the red flag law that was used against an officer by the mother of someone that he shot. Keep in mind that the guy charged him with a knife. It doesn't talk about any of that. All it talks about is red flag laws stopping mass shootings, and the mass shooting that it did reference did not get stopped by a red flag law that was already on the books. And it actually shows you the failure of red flag laws and also how they can be abused and how they just don't work. but the writer doesn't mention any of that. There's a couple different reasons why this article could have been written the way that it was. Reason one is that the writer has an agenda and she's trying to push that agenda on everyone. Reason two is she has no idea what she's talking about when it comes to red flag laws and just pulled anything out of the air to complete the article that she was assigned to write. I'm not really sure which one it is, but it is definitely not a good look. All right, guys, just wanted to show you this little example of media manipulation and how they can use it to try to push an anti-gun agenda. All right, so stay vigilant, stay free, keeping the fight. I am out of here. Wolverine's mother.